Hello, hello, and welcome to the Rag Company podcast. I'm Dane Hennen. To my right, Levi Gates.
What's up, guys? It's flannel weather.
It is, and I really should have brought my flannel. And to my left, Anthony Fisher.
Hey, guys, it's fake Yeezy weather.
Ooh, I do have my fake Yeezys
Busting
today.
them out.
Wow.
I don't have mine.
What a
Oh,
day.
it's okay. We're all just kind of mix and match
What
here.
a
That's
day.
all right. It's cool. It's feeling like fall's on its way in.
Love
I'm
it.
excited.
It's going to be
I
a
don't know
nice
about
week.
you.
It's going to be a nice week. Today
Yeah.
it's only supposed to be like 69 degrees as a high.
Oh,
Hey, that's one of my favorite numbers.
Well, here,
mainly
let's
for the
hope
fact
it
it's just
lasts.
It's a nice temperature.
It's a mild, temperate, enough to wear a sweatshirt or a hoodie or a flannel.
Whatever you want to do,
you know.
man.
it's an
Or,
either-or
you know,
situation.
Maybe you want to flip it around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
know.
absolutely.
So,
I know what you're saying.
So,
getting
relaxing,
straight,
not roasting.
Getting straight into this, right? So
Yeah.
we have some things we need to talk about.
we do.
Bring it.
We need to talk about the Labor Day sale.
Yes.
And how that
Such
went.
a deal.
Right? We talked about this. It was such a deal. It was such a deal. I think it is
Right,
ended
yeah,
at
it
this
is.
point,
Really?
correct?
It
Was
ended
going?
I
Monday.
think it's still going till
What?
the end of today, I
I
thought.
thought it ended Monday.
Oh, it did. It
This is
ends-
something we
that's
should have been
right.
sure about
Today
before
is
we
Mo-
started.
Okay. I keep thinking it's Monday, but we had Monday off. It
Correct.
ended Monday
yes.
night.
Correct. Okay.
As far
correct.
as
So,
I remember.
Yes.
So that sale was pretty
Midnight.
sweet because basically we did 20% off site-wide, right?
Yeah.
Almost everything. And then we introduced
Free sticker.
We introduced the Koch Chemi line
Yep.
during the
Yes.
sale, so meaning that you would get 20% off.
Truly unbelievable.
A pretty, like I said, a pretty decked out line.
And that was Koch that offered to do that.
yeah,
we didn't.
They did.
Like,
They did. Crazy.
you guys know us. When we launched WoWos, we didn't launch WoWos on a sale.
Yeah.
We didn't
No.
launch Color Lock on a sale.
No.
We didn't launch G-Technic on a sale.
Yeah,
Because
no,
none of
we're,
those.
we're always trying to avoid the scenario where you
Yeah,
release
well-
it during a sale and people think that price is a price when really they're getting a deal. They may not realize it. So this way, we just had to be extra clear
Yeah,
about it so
but
people
Coach-
understand.
They were, maybe
They
it's
were
because
pumped.
the Germans,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but they were very excited about joining us in this and said, yes, we think it's a great time to do this.
Yeah.
We want to be part of the sale.
No,
Here
it's
you
super
go for
exciting.
it.
It's one of the
were-
biggest
so
of the year.
Thank
so.
you to Koch for allowing you guys that introductory pricing to be able to jump on it.
Get in the
Hopefully you
door.
guys
try some stuff
got
out.
to try
Yeah.
some stuff out, got to play with some stuff, and it's just going to keep getting better, we think.
Well, so
as more products come.
but we also had free gifts, right? So a lot
Yeah.
of people were
Yes.
wanting to know like what's going on with the free gifts. How does this work? So basically, if you had spent let's just say 70, I think it was $75, you get the free
After
Cyclone.
20% off.
After 20% off, you get the free RWB Cyclone. You spend 100, you get the foam 1.5. You spend 150,
And some clean
you
wheels.
get the G Technic basic kit, right? So
Yeah.
it was a really cool deal, and I think that like realistically, man, if you're spending $100, right, and you're picking up Koch Chemi products, you're picking up G Technic products, whatever it may be, and you're getting a free foamer, you're getting free clean wheels. It's pretty dang good deal.
Yeah, it's pretty
and
neat.
free shipping, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully you guys took advantage of that sale. We had a lot of fun with it. I think that the lineup was killer, and I think our lineup is continuing to get better, right? I think our chemical offerings are something that we are very proud of now. I think that looking at where we once were and where we are now, it's crazy to see. And what I think we need to do as well, and this would be something that we can talk about in a future podcast, is lay out our different chemical offerings, why we chose to have these particular
good idea.
chemicals, right? And maybe some of our go-tos are our favorites, because at this point we have little redundancy in our chemical lineup, and that was always the goal, right? We don't want to have a lot of overlap.
Yeah.
We want to give
10
people
different soaps that all do the same thing.
We want to give people
nobody likes
some
that.
options,
choices.
but we want to give them the options of things that we like. And
Maybe
use.
possibly things that do a little bit, each thing does something
Yeah,
different.
it may
Just a
be a
little
similar
different.
type of product, but maybe it behaves or functions in a different way.
Right.
Like that's what we've kind of
Well, for
tried to do
example,
with
when
this
we
lineup
launched the
we
Koch
have.
Chemi stuff, right? People are like, wait, there is 3 different quick finish products. Quick
And
detail
that
products.
was probably
like,
the most confusing until you explain how each one functions. Like once you understood that one of them is meant not to affect the actual, hydrophobics of the surface you're putting it on. That
the
makes sense.
blooming
Maybe I
effect,
like
yeah.
my
Yeah.
coating, maybe I like my something, and I don't want to change it, but I still want to put maybe some
Right.
kind of gloss enhancing
Well,
product
then
on
the
there.
other one was also you could use it on the interior, so it was
Yes.
an all around. So
Yeah.
you could just use it.
And then there's the in-between one, which does change them a little bit. And then there's the water spot one, which is, that got me excited. I love the idea of
one's one
that.
of my favorites
'Cause,
for sure.
Man,
And
that's
so-
handy.
But we have a video coming out on
Yeah.
that of me explaining the differences
Yeah.
between the 3, because I know that can be kind of confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, man, I think like products that I am out of the Koch line that I am the most excited for people to try. Like let's just say I'll do 4, right?
Okay,
I'll do 4. Most excited is going to be the Snow Foam, the GSF.
That stuff.
Like I said, that smell is intoxicating to me. It messes me up. I smell that and I'm just like, I need to sit down for a minute because
sometimes you forget where you are.
So good. So the GSF, the FSE water spot quick detailer.
Yes.
Top Star, which is their
it's not out yet. It's on its way.
Correct. But that is
so there's more coming, guys. Everything you see on the store right now
dressing.
is the interior dressing and UV protector.
I really like Top Star a lot.
It's very nice. I think that'll be something really, really good. And then finally, man, I'm going to have to say the motor plast because that is
I was going to throw that in there if you didn't.
That is some stuff
I'm in love with that.
I am like, is this the chemical level that we're at today? Like, we're able to achieve this kind of thing?
It's insane how good a result you get for, frankly, minimal effort.
Yeah. I mean, when you read the description, because when you read the description, you're like, this creates an elastic film that protects your electrical components while preserving your engine and giving it a deep, protected hydrophilic property, right? And I'm like, that sounds like a crock.
No, like people roll their eyes at that stuff if they've seen and heard a lot of
way too
detailing products
complicated.
before and like read the labels on stuff, and you're like, oh, this is just a load of Then you actually use it.
Then I use it, and then I'm like, oh my god, it is.
I'm never using anything else on an engine bay to preserve it afterwards.
Description was so accurate. It's nuts, and so
Z Germans,
dude,
man.
You take a clean engine, right? I would say, clean your engine. Rinse it, get it all wet again, right? Spray that motor plast on, close that hood, come back in a couple hours, and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. It is a film. It is a protective layer.
Well, and when we say it's a protective layer, Anthony got a little bit on the floor.
Right. I did.
And let's just say it didn't come off until I used tar and glue remover.
It's kind of like what happens, totally different kind of product, but we've spilled some bead maker on the floor before and made it very slick.
Yeah.
This also did that.
Yeah, but
in a different way.
Get it
but
off.
Still.
That's the thing. And so this truly adds a protective layer.
You fought it. You were sitting there mopping, trying different ways.
And like the heat ratio, not the heat ratio, the heat, what's it called? How much heat it could take. Is insane.
Yeah,
it's like I can't remember what it said on the bottle, but I mean it's hundreds of degrees, right? I mean it has to basically survive the engine temps, right?
Yeah,
and it absolutely does that. And so
my car's got a supercharger. It gets hotter in there than most engine bays, so if it can handle that, it can handle.
Well, I know. You had to throw out the supercharger.
Yeah, I really had to plug that.
Dane, you could have just said you had a V8.
Well, no, because ordinary V8 wouldn't be enough. But no, you have to have a supercharger to really build up that extra heat.
Dane's got that BDE right now.
If you guys knew that, he's got vents on his hood.
That's right.
For a reason.
I think
they actually go all the way through. You can see it's not like a new Supra.
But we've already been thinking of ways and trying different ways to use motor plast because we think that is just an insane product. And so I sprayed on my engine, not my engine, but my wheel wells on my Ram.
Fender wells on the Ram.
My fender wells.
And some of the suspension components as well.
I did, and they look fantastic. And so
it does actually
it's just
look
like
really
the
good.
make it look good spray.
Yeah, well, that's why I got on the floor.
Yeah, that's
a little bit on the floor. So if you guys want to do that, you're going to be very thankful because it looks really great. Yeah, and I think it's going to actually bond and stay and hold on to the plastics.
Dude, it bonds.
I'm going to be interested to see how long it lasts.
Me too.
But be careful if you guys are spraying it and getting it on your floors. You are going to need to use something like tar and glue.
I wonder, like on certain cars nowadays, they have more elaborate kind of like diffuser designs and stuff in the back of cars. Not even fancy ones, just like economy cars and stuff have stuff around the exhaust that like fancy plastics that have a design to them. Maybe a bit good application on those.
Depending on, I think
you have Camry has a lot of underbody aerodynamics.
Right, sure. So like if you spray that down, not that people are routinely looking under there, but in case they do, why not have it look good?
High performance.
Have it look really, really good.
And I would absolutely spray it on the other side of a car, absolutely 100% all day long, especially on a newer truck, right? That's exposed to rust, right? I think pretty much anything that would have rusting issues, I would spray that crap anywhere. I mean, next to an undercoating, right? That's the closest detailing type of spray coating that I've seen that actually.
Yeah, it's not a dressing. That's the crazy thing. You guys are probably wondering, are we talking about it? It does create this weird elastomeric like dressing, but barrier.
It creates this.
It's not strange. Oily. It's not any of those.
When we were talking to Koch, when we brought that product up, they got very excited to talk about it because you could tell they put a lot of engineering into that, a lot of work, a lot of R&D. But anyway, so getting back on track. So hopefully you guys picked up some good stuff during the sale. hopefully you guys, got some Koch Chemi products that you can try. I know some people are asking about sampler kits. There's no sampler kits at this point, but maybe
there is
down
a
the road.
smart sample kit by G-Technic.
Correct, and that's where they maybe
that
got
up,
the idea.
and you can get those. But
Correct,
Koch doesn't have a small.
Correct.
No,
like
and
that,
so and basically, to be honest,
right now we only got liters.
The 500 ml to 1 liter bottles are pretty much the standard there for Koch, and so that's what they offer. So anyway, so getting back on track, what did we all do this weekend?
Well, I know
Dane,
your story is a little
Did you work
long.
on your grass some more?
Mine is a relatively short story.
Get it ready for the winter, little fall cleanup.
Well, I
that
didn't have
action
much of
going?
a choice. I had to pick up a lot of crap in my yard because it kept falling into it. Dead tree branches were falling off my neighbors.
You were
You
falling
fell?
into it.
Oh, no.
I thought you were saying you were falling into it. Like,
Kept spilling my drink.
Unless you live
Ice
here.
cubes everywhere. I had to pick them up off the grass.
Wow. Unless you live here, you may not be aware. We had some crazy winds over the weekend.
Well, that was just yesterday.
I think there was 60 mile an hour winds.
But it was only on Monday. There was wind.
Yeah,
so
but that's what I spent Monday doing.
Okay. So what'd you do on Saturday?
On Saturday, I didn't get too crazy with it. Cleaned out more in my garage, just bit by bit. I'm not doing a big old thing, but at the same time, I'm just pulling stuff out, going through it, organizing it, seeing what needs to go to the dump. I ended up buying 4 large trash cans from Home Depot.
Nice.
That I will then use. Yeah, so they're like the roughneck ones.
Oh yeah, great
burn
ones.
barrels.
So
I light them on fire.
Well, a couple had the nice
plastic.
big lid. They were like, what were they, like a 44-gallon? Anyway, got some bigger ones, and I filled them up with stuff where I look at the shelves in my garage and I go, I'm never using that paint again, or I'm never using this again. And just throw it away.
Down to the chemical place.
My problem is I cannot get myself to let go of things. I feel like, oh no, I need to preserve this in case I ever need it again. I have a Corvette model set from when I was 7 years old that is still sitting up in my garage that I've never built.
That's okay. That's
and
unbuilt.
I feel like that's just waiting to be made.
That's unbuilt. When you have children, you'll be able to pass that on to them.
So that's up there.
That's something you
but
could
then
do.
along with like a bunch of elementary school projects and stuff, things my parents unloaded out of their house, and they're like, "It's yours now." And
my parents did the same thing. I'm like, Mom.
I think everybody at a certain age.
Forever.
You go through that. Maybe the first
away.
time you move out, whatever time that is, there's usually a period for like a few months where you're like, I got a lot of space in this new place I got, whatever. No, like within a month or two of that, your parents go, so we were cleaning out your old room and yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. You want us to throw it away or you want to take it? And you're like, well, maybe I got to preserve that in case you have kids one day and you want to show it to them. They're not going to care.
No,
maybe they
keep
will.
the cool
but
stuff and then you throw away the rest of it.
So, yeah, got to be really selective. But I do have a lot of papers that I will probably never look at again.
So what you need to do is have Gabe Garcia come over.
Oh.
Pay him a nice wage.
Okay.
Because he is looking at buying some more rental properties.
That's right.
So he's going to have to need a little cash. Yeah. And then what you do is have him come in and clean the garage. You say, Gabe, don't tell me what you're going to do.
Yeah.
But keep that model set and a couple things. I put green stickers on some items. Rest of it, just chuck it.
He's like, but look, Dane, there's green stickers on literally every item. Yeah, I know.
If you
no, literally from
bit,
garage sales haunting my past, that stuff that didn't sell is still sitting on the shelves with like little $2 stickers and $3 stickers, and I'm like, that needs to go. It just needs to go.
So you thin the herd.
So I filled up those garbage cans. I went up to the dump because on Saturday they're still open.
Yeah. So do you dump all those chemicals and stuff just in the back of the landfill? So just throw them out the back of the truck?
No, they have a hazardous waste disposal up there.
Mm-hmm.
I hit that. Basically what happened was I got there at 5:50. I was able to dump all the normal stuff, and then I still had one garbage can I dedicated to old paint, fertilizer, old kind of like household chemicals. And I was, and they were basically
did you just pour them all into the, like a jungle juice?
There's some guys who just walk out of like this like freezer room, it looks like, with the kind of cut up plastic, clear plastic. They walk out, they walk out and they're just looking and they see it's 5:55 and they close at 6 and they're just like, oh. And I'm like, sorry guys, I know I worked retail. I didn't like it when people walked in at the last minute either.
This isn't retail. This is a junkyard.
But like anybody who's worked a job who gets to the last minute of the job and a customer walks in, they know what I'm talking about. They get it.
At Quiznos, when it was my first job, right? I remember I actually used to get mad because I would put away everything, right? Everything would be put away.
Well, they'd look and they go, it's not 6 o'clock
and
yet.
And they would walk in and they'd be like, hi. And then I'd be like, oh, okay, it's one person, thank God, right? And they say, come on in, guys. And then an entire high school soccer team walks in. I say, oh my God, I need backup.
And you're by yourself. Everyone else is
left. By myself, I need backup.
You're closing up tonight, Anthony.
Yeah.
So anybody who works retail can relate to that. But yeah, no, the guys were actually really nice. I just explained I have a garbage can, it has a lot of different chemicals in it. Hopefully it's not a problem. They're like, oh no, it's okay. So one guy literally just hopped up into my pickup bed. I didn't get out or anything. He just said, stay there. We'll take care of it because they're like hazardous. So one guy takes it, puts it on a cart, does a little scanner, does a whole deal. And and that was it. Moved on, went back home. Just watched some shows, caught up on different things. And yeah, I didn't do a ton this weekend. It was like a little yard work. I cleaned the windows using stuff I borrowed from Anthony. I went over to his new house, got a tour of the new house.
Yes, you did.
Said hi to the Goldens, as you do. And kind
dogs.
of got a lay of the land. Got a lay
of
the land.
And
you
did get to see my plot of land.
Yes. So I saw that plot of land as well.
A picnic table would go
I think it's got some real potential is what I think.
Too.
Now I did I understood some of the things
at Home Depot right now.
Some of the things he'd previously explained to me about the house made more sense when I saw it, about the trail that goes next to his house. He has a tall fence like on all sides except for the side that faces this trail. It's like a little itty bitty 3-4 foot fence,
look at the trail.
so that everybody can just look over and see what you're doing in your backyard. And it's like, oh, that doesn't seem fun. Not that you like have to have the utmost privacy, but a little would be nice.
Well, I mean, how am I supposed to walk around naked back there? Right?
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
hey. Somebody files a complaint. It's like, you were looking.
Yeah, dude,
you pay good money to that HOA.
Yeah. You pay good money to be able to see this view. But no, I got to explain it like this is the 4-foot fence on this side of this walking path, right? That's why that lattice has to go up. We wanted it to go up ASAP, and so.
But it looks very funny because it's a short fence, and then it gets up to the gate at the front. So like
tall
where
gate.
the front of the house is, looking back towards the house, you have this tall gate, and then you kind of peek around the corner and
tiny
short little fence next to it. So
over.
It's just like kind of misleading until you turn to the corner and go, oh. But once you get that lattice out there, that's going to look awesome.
It's going to be money, man.
That's going to look really good.
But he got to see how much room for activities I have. I have plenty of room.
Yes.
I get to see my painted garage, my painted by me, right?
Yeah.
And so you got to check
your
that
roommate's like extremely ornate, soundproof room he's designed up.
Very sweet.
It's
what he does.
It's very musician.
Does he destroy your walls?
It's where he just stores. No, he does not.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he uses command strips.
Yes.
Amazing.
Everywhere.
Command strips on all the things. Yeah.
The whole thing was lit up like a spaceship or a Disney ride when you walk in. It was like,
pretty sweet.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
he doesn't have a bed, but he just sleeps on the ground.
Oh my.
Yeah.
So anyway, the reason I went over there initially was because, as you know, Mr. Former window washer over here, you know a thing or two about washing windows.
I do.
So I knew he had some chemicals that were good for getting hard water spots off windows. I went beyond maybe some of the detailing stuff.
Yeah, we have a gallon of wheel acid here. You could have.
It was a little different. So this was like oxygen bleach. It was like toothpaste comes out and you dab it on. I used like basically a non-scratch Scotch-Brite pad on my front window and just kind of went on there and just worked it in after cleaning it.
And the Scotch-Brite.
See, the funny thing is, I used compound before that. I used Last
the same
Cut.
green scouring pad.
No, not with that pad though. No. So unfortunately, it wasn't really getting all the cut I needed. This ended up doing it though.
Should have taken your 15 home with you and a wood pad.
What ended up really working on it before I had the chance to get the chemicals from you was actually using a metal razor blade, and I was just scraping the window that way.
I was just scraping the calcium off.
Yeah, but I was literally scraping the calcium off.
But how did this product work? Melted it right off?
It did a fantastic job.
Nice.
It's a little spotty in places, but that's my fault because the sun was on it, and I couldn't quite see everything I needed to get.
Yeah, I should probably also mention you don't want to do that in direct sunlight because that's also because it dries really fast, and so. But basically, it's like an industrial grade. You have to get it from like industrial cleaning supply.
Wear gloves, kids.
You want to wear gloves, and you want to. But basically, you just apply it, right?
Yeah.
I just swirl it on, right? Get it all onto the window. You let it sit for 30 seconds to a minute, and then you rewash the window. So wash the window first, apply, then rewash, and then sometimes you might have to do 2 applications, but. It makes like my shower glass, right? Because I've tried doing the polisher to a shower glass. It's such a pain. This stuff just eats that right off.
The main reason I had to turn to this stuff was because the hard water spots are from like straight up well irrigation water type stuff. In my neighborhood, they have a collective well. It's great having the water that you only have to pay $85 a year for, but
it's expensive.
The thing with it is it's the community's water, so that basically you can have running as much as you want, use as little or as much as you want, you're fine.
Yeah.
But I use it for the sprinkler water, and if it gets on the windows, my goodness. It's on the front face of the house, so it gets the sun. It was so baked in there, nothing short of that razor blade or this stuff was getting rid of it. I was trying initially with like kind of like a wool pad and last cut compound on the battery operated flex, just like, okay, we'll try the window here, see what we can do. It made a little dent, but it seemed like it wasn't getting everything.
Yeah,
so
Dane,
that's when I decided to ask.
You also want to make sure you check, right? Cleaned a lot of windows in my life, right?
Yeah.
You know how many?
Well,
you know how you
son of a window cleaner.
You know how you've cleaned thousands of cars.
Correct. You've cleaned thousands of windows,
right?
One's a little smaller than the
hundreds
other.
of houses in my day.
Master of clarity, some say.
Now they wouldn't say that at all.
Oh, okay.
But basically, Dane, on certain windows, right, depending on how many the panes, right, in the glass, right. So sometimes you'll have a window, right, that you'll have that liquid, right, whatever water can actually get on the inside of that seal, right, and it could be condensation, could be things like that with time. But the other thing though too, right, if you have hard water that lands on your window during a hot day, right, because that window, right, you have a reflection bouncing off, right, sometimes that weirdly enough can etch onto the other side of the glass, right, on an area where you think it's not possible.
So FYI, compared to all the other windows on my house, this is by far the most expensive and the nicest. It's a triple pane. It's extremely nice window. Very expensive. That's why I wanted to clean it up and get it back, because that was one of two windows I've replaced on the house since I bought it, because when I initially moved in, this was a window that had like a ton of the little lights with the lattice kind of design. It was old, and it had like a little crack in the corner that was like letting that first pane, kind of like you were describing, the first pane on the inside was broken by Augie there. It's a similar situation, but it's very small. But I knew eventually I wanted to have it fixed. So when I got it replaced, I was like, well, I want to get the most energy efficient thing I can find, and here it was. It was not cheap, but it's such a good window. The problem is, that stuff gets on there. It's just a pain to clean off. So I really try and avoid putting the sprinkler anywhere near that.
So Dane, you should try. So I tell people, right, if you can clean your windows once a year, right, you can typically stay up on it. I'd probably say a cleaned window, like an actual professionally cleaned window, will generally stay clean and spot free, right, for about 6 months. Like, I mean, like it'll look very good.
If it hadn't been for that sprinkler, those windows are relatively untouched. It would have been fine.
Yeah, because, I mean, on all the...
Rain wasn't going to do anything to it. My overhang is fine in front of it. So.
Rain, and that's the thing. Rain, unless you get the dirty rain with wind that is going sideways, right, you're typically not getting that much water.
We don't generally get both.
The dirtiest windows you're ever going to get are going to always be from sprinklers. They're going to be from, if you have bushes, if you have things like that near it's
wide open in front
that stuff gets all really dirty. But that's pretty much it. But you want to clean out your tracks too, because your window tracks, those hold up a ton of just crap.
Dead bugs.
It's dead bugs. It's everything. But you're also breathing that stuff in, right? All that stuff that's on that. So that's why whenever I'd clean windows, right, a thorough clean would include blinds, right? So you're knocking out the blinds. We're knocking out the windows. We're knocking out the tracks. There's track brushes you can use to get the stuff out of the tracks.
Sure.
And you can get it to where you can eat off those things. But it's crazy how much a difference cleaning the windows will improve the smell of a house. It's very strange, right? Because there's just a ton of stuff that gets caught in there. Dog hair, right? If you're a dog owner, in those tracks, you'd be like, how did this dog hair find its way into its tracks, right?
Wind.
But then what happens, right? You get water into your tracks, right?
You get wet dog hair.
So now you have wet dog hair. So now you don't realize this. Then that sun amplifying off of your
I can't wait to see how
window.
many people post
Cooked
pictures
wet dog hair. Is that a smell you want in your home?
And their tracks after this podcast.
No, dude, it happens. And so whenever I clean windows, especially doing interior jobs, they would always come back. They'd be like, "Wow, it smells so good in here." All I'm using, right? Well, I guess I can explain my solution on here.
All the window washers who listen to our podcast are like, "No,
dude,
revealing the secrets."
It's pretty like public information at this point. But most window washer fluid, right, the actual liquid that they're using to clean, is water and dish soap, right? Yeah. So there's several there, but you want a dish soap that has some cleaning abilities to it, right? So like some people have used Dawn. Dawn isn't bad, but Dawn streaks more, right?
Sure.
So the best soaps that I've found, right?
Palm olive.
Not palm olive, right?
Joy.
So Joy and Ajax.
Joy and Ajax.
Joy and Ajax, hands down, have the best cleaning ability. They just, for some reason, remove the best film, but they also leave the cleanest streak-free finish. And so you just need a couple drops. So in a bucket, right, you're not doing a squeeze. You're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a short half bucket with hot to warm water. Always hot to warm water because it cuts everything the fastest. Then after that, dunk it in, wash it around, clean the window, squeegee it, wipe out the tracks, move on. And you'll have some pretty clean windows, dude. And it smells good. So everybody always says, it smells so good in here. I'm like, wow, all I did was clean the tracks and clean the windows. But
a great little tip for people who are wondering.
Something to consider to make your house a nice
very
place
nice
to live.
Yeah, no, that was very good, very thoughtful.
So what else did you see? Cleaned the window, got it all looking sharp,
cleaned up
checked
the
out
windows,
the
cleaned
Casa
up the
de
yard,
Fisher.
took things out of the garage, cleaned up a little more space there to park the truck, which was nice, a little further apart from the car. So far, so good. There's still a few spots I got to clean some stuff up out of. I'm just doing little bits at a time. I'm not in a huge rush to do it, but whatever the case. So little things, did some grocery shopping, nothing particularly crazy. I was actually, thinking, since I didn't do a lot this weekend, just thinking about things we could maybe introduce to the show here that might make it more interesting for people. Little things we can add to kind of give a new dimension to it, if you will. Perhaps we could do our weekend thing where we're talking about our weekends, and we can do our housekeeping where we talk about what's going on with the store. But what if we also did, each one of us, like a little personalized segment? It could be like 5 minutes each. It wouldn't even have to be a big thing, but maybe something specific from your angle of expertise, so you can introduce to the show each week. It's something different, but you have a basis for it. So like mine could be weird car trivia or something like that. It could be something kind of fun to drop in there and just get a little dose of your personality in there. I've been thinking about this, and I thought, there's always obviously shots. People want your detailing tips, but I'm sure there's other things you're interested in too. It could be a detailing tip, but like, what would you feel would best represent you?
Like to melt things with steel.
Okay.
Forge new creations.
You do that a lot?
No, I haven't. I'm into it.
But you're looking to start.
Follow a lot of Instagram.
Levi, that's just a ball of tin foil. That's like it's you're like, it's in the process.
You have little faith. It is now being forged into this toothpick.
Like to ride my bike around my neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, you got crazy bicycle knowledge and stuff. Like, there's all kinds of interesting stuff. But I just wanted us to kind of think about that. It doesn't have to be today. But I'd love to hear, like, what the audience thinks.
Great
Maybe
idea.
they throw it out there in the Rag Company podcast discussion group on Facebook. What would you like to hear? Like, you kind of gotten to know us over the years from the podcast, but what would you think the best kind of segment each one of us could do? Just throw it out there, just put a Levi, an Anthony, and a Dane, and then just a little description next to it of what you think you'd like to see. And then we'll maybe take the idea, maybe we'll do something different, but I'd like to at least see what people have to say.
I like it.
So yeah, anyway, that's me. How about you?
That was all your weekend?
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
it.
Chill.
Just a lot of shows and stuff, binging. Yeah.
So my weekend went good. It was a very long weekend. It was nice. 3 days off,
Yep.
I've started reading Lovecraft Country, the book. A little bit different than the show, obviously. A little bit of tips and change, little twerp,
twerking.
Twerks.
I'm sorry, what?
Tweaking and changing of the tips. No, it was.
This is all over the place.
It's actually the book's.
Goodness.
The book's really good. So I've been reading that. So started that like Thursday night. Kind of read that throughout the weekend, which was kind of nice. I spent Sunday morning sitting in the back patio, reading a little bit in the morning. Just kind of enjoying reading a book again.
Do you miss the Dothraki pleasure tent?
I do.
For reading.
Fun fact: the neighbor's Dothraki pleasure tent got destroyed this weekend in the windstorm. So
I was going to say it just seems like it's carrying on the tradition of them being destroyed in windstorms.
Yeah. So my new tent is 2 sun sails. And posts.
Very nice.
So that's what the
not quite the same vibes without the rug and the carpet and
rugs and carpets are down there with all the furniture.
Yeah,
but
let's just be honest, it'll never be the same.
No tall domed, tinted area.
Well, you used to light fires inside there.
Yeah,
and
I can't really light a fire in this one because the sail
is waiting
to go. It's waiting to go.
But no, Friday night we just kind of hung out. Carly and I went and got for dinner. I stopped and got Big Judd's for the kids.
Yes. Family favorite.
Yeah, easy because you just get the Big Judd special. You get a 1 pound hamburger,
split it,
cheeseburger, and then you get a pound of fries.
Yeah. Big Judd's was on Man vs. Food at one point.
It was. You guys can check that episode out. So
check this out. My picture's on that wall.
Is it?
It is. I did the challenge. Beat it.
Oh, nice.
man.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law did the 2-pound challenge and beat it.
Oh, wow.
Oof.
Seth?
No, my brother-in-law, Scott.
Yeah, I would have thought that Seth
So,
too.
Yeah, no, I used to do the 1 pound, but me and Pat would buy them and bring them home. We'd each get a 1 pound, and then we'd race each other to see if we could beat it. We'd pregame, try and practice, beat the time. But no, brought that home Friday night. Saturday, we just kind of spent the day kind of catching up, doing some yard work, getting the place just kind of fixed up. Didn't really do much on Saturday. I went, did some runs to Home Depot. I fixed, a couple little things. Just had a very long honey-do list that I needed to take care of over the weekend. So I used that time to get a lot of that done. Saturday night, my kids got to go over to my mom's house, spend the night with my mom. So that was cool. So Carly and I just kind of hung out. We ordered a Chicago Connection pizza.
Ooh, cheese.
Pure
cheese.
Half cheese, half sausage.
Oh. So I know, but essentially that pizza is just cheese.
It's deep dish, just pure cheese.
It is pure cheese, yeah.
So ordered that, then just kind of hung out, watched TV. I think we we bought Wolf of Wall Street and watched that Saturday night.
Fantastic movie.
Now that's
a blast.
fun.
Yeah, watched that again because we hadn't seen it in a while.
Oh, man.
Women lewds, man.
So Sunday, woke up and picked up the kids. My mom's cutting the cable and going streaming on everything.
Oh, wow.
So,
good for her.
yeah.
Congratulations.
It's only just now happening.
Man. You know
so I
what,
had to teach her how to do that. Sorry, Mom.
Better late than never.
We love you.
Yeah. But helped her get that kind of set up. And then came home with the kids. We made French toast and had kind of a cool, just chill Sunday. Didn't really do, we were lazy on Sunday. We didn't do anything. We just kind of lounged around the house.
The song is called Lazy Sunday.
Yeah, it was perfect. So I read, took a nap, did some stuff. Monday, again, kind of wanted to get the rest of my list done. I took down our pool. One of the many amenities at the MOSHQ was to
go.
I took the pool down, bought a very large tote, which I could then put everything in. So I kind of worked on that because I had to drain it Friday night. Saturday, I had to go in and finish draining it.
That's a lot of water.
I had to dry it out.
So where does the water go?
1,700 gallons of water.
So you just dump it in your yard, or where do you?
Hell yeah, I did. Watered
Do
my
your
lawn
neighbors
with
care? Because that's enough water to flood your yard.
free water.
Guys, enjoy. They're like, this is chlorinated. It's killing all of our plants.
The little chihuahua is barely able to keep its mouth above
My
water
grass
over.
is so green. You have no idea how green it is. I literally just dumped water all over my yard, the backyard. So dried it all out, took it all apart, put it in its tote so we can save it for next year. I learned from Bart here at the Rag Company. He has an above ground pool. He goes, as long as you take it down in the winter, he goes, take it down in September. He goes, put it up in May. He goes, it will last a lot longer. He goes, if you leave it out, there's a lot of people that just put a cover, or they get a cover, they put it on. He's like, trust me. He's like, I'm going on 7 years with mine.
Freezes and thaws.
And I was like, holy cow. He goes, it's just get a big tote, to take it down, put it back up when you're ready. Just make sure you do that. That'll save you a ton of time. So, it took me 3 days to really take it down. But everything that I had for it fit in that tote. So I was pretty stoked about that. Mowed the lawn, got the lawn ready to go. I also cleaned all the couch cushions on our 2 couches in our living room.
Wow.
Mixed up some Optimum Carbon Fabric Clean and Protect in a multi-sprayer.
The magic spray.
Good choice.
Pressurized them, pulled all the cushions out, sprayed everything, scrubbed them all down with a color lock brush, and then let them all sit out in the sun. Just to they needed to be freshened up. My kids have I'm sure this is like everybody that has children. You tell your kids you don't want them to eat anywhere in the living room.
Sure.
What do? They take a bowl of cereal and they go sit on the couch and they spill that bowl of cereal all over the couch. So the couches, my wife and I were noticing it just kind of smelled. We kept trying to play the game, find the smell.
Oh, and they're not going to tell
you. It was only on the couch that we could smell.
Yeah.
We're like, I think it's the couch. There's some food smell. Mm-hmm. So
got
deep
that
clean
food funk.
Yeah. So I detailed my couches. Did as much upholstery cleaning as I possibly could with them. Got them all clean. Spent Monday doing that. Augie and I in the middle of it. I got started doing it first thing in the morning, then let them all dry, all the cushions dry outside. Carly took Hadley to the mall, just a little girls' day with her mom, 3 of them. I got Augie, put him on a bike, got on my bike, packed some snacks, packed some water, hopped on the old Greenbelt.
Oh, very nice.
I even packed a rope just in case I need to tow him back.
Yeah.
He got on his little bike, had his shark helmet on, and we rode from our house all the way to Julie Davis Park.
Oh,
That's a
wow.
good ride.
That's a good ride. Yeah.
Around the park.
Wow.
Stopped at my grandpa's tree, and there was a picnic table right next to his tree, which was perfect because it was sitting right there. So got in there and just had our little snack, had some water, enjoyed ourselves. Kind of told him about his great grandpa. Gave him a little history lesson, so to speak. Yeah. We rode around the park and then rode home, and it was just we stopped at the river under the bridge behind Park Center. And
threw a couple rocks.
Watched the kids jump off the bridge.
Yeah,
They were floating. There's people floating the river still. So we watched some kids, jump off the bridge, and saw some other kids hanging out, smoking some cigarettes on the riverbank.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
How it
Kind
goes.
of teaching them all,
He's like
learning life
Right,
lessons.
exactly.
And
I
you're like,
said,
exactly.
keep an eye out. See that
You ever
kid?
seen Stand By Me?
Yeah. See that kid with the long hair and the mustache?
Yeah.
And the bandana on?
That could be you one day.
Someday, bud.
Someday.
Hanging out with those girls, smoking cigarettes and throwing rocks. It's the way to do it. It's
man.
what you do here in Boise. So
Lead a full and challenging life.
Yeah, but got back on our bikes, pushed him back, and then rode home. And then he was pretty tired after that.
Oh,
that was a good workout for him.
Well, and frankly, the air quality wasn't exactly
It was
best.
fine, but we got home in time before the winds kicked up.
Right, and that helps.
So we were back in time before any of the wind. We caught a little bit of the light early breezes, but they were pushing us in the direction we were going. So the winds were going west to east. So it was nice because basically, little hands pushing us to get us back home. So that was good. But I was proud of Og because the last time I did that ride with him and Hadley, I had to take my jacket off and create a tow rope out of my jacket to get and take turns with them because neither of them could keep up.
Yikes.
And so this time I packed it just in case, but I didn't tell him that I had it because I knew if I would have said I brought a rope just in case he'd be like, oh, I need that rope. Yeah, so.
Yeah, don't break out the emergency kit unless it's actually an emergency.
Yeah, so it was good, but, just kind of tried to get all that done. We also introduced the kids to Hocus Pocus this weekend.
Oh, wow.
Great movie.
Saturday
Classic.
morning, I took the kids to go to the Spirit of Halloween store.
Because
because as you know, our house is fully decorated for Halloween.
Yeah.
Any empty building can be a spirit Halloween if you
but
hope long enough.
my house is already decorated. September 1st, my wife cracks open all the 4 totes. We have more totes for Halloween stuff than we do for Christmas.
Nice.
That's the way our family rolls.
Yeah.
We also, Dane, you'll be happy to know we erected our Halloween tree. It's just a black tree with orange and purple lights and lots of spider webs and spiders and ornaments of skulls and crossbones and things like that. So we set up our Halloween tree.
Very appropriate.
Set up all of our Halloween decorations within our home. So it's already spirit's already there, So we took the kids. Took the kids to Spirit of Halloween, and Carly had said, I tried getting them to watch Hocus Pocus. We made it in 5 minutes. They couldn't do it.
Wow.
I was like,
They're
all right,
just
we're
not
gonna
about it.
We're going to redo this.
So
no,
what
my kids are huge Halloween nerds.
So why didn't they?
I think
I
the
haven't
first
watched it
5
in
minutes,
a long time.
first 5 minutes kind of got us
5 minutes.
scared.
I think the hanging.
The hanging
is
scares them.
probably-
Oh,
yeah,
well.
they do get hung. They kill a child. They also eat the
Yeah.
soul of a child in the
Yeah,
beginning
they
of
do.
it.
And here I'm thinking,
Yeah.
they're just going to see a cute talking cat, and
No. So
dark movie,
they got a little freaked out. But Spirit of Halloween, ton of Hocus Pocus memorabilia. So they were like, "Oh, we've seen this movie." I said, "Well, you haven't seen the movie. You watched like the first 5 minutes."
Who's in it? Is it Sarah Jessica Parker?
Yeah, she
Yes.
was 27, I think, in that
Oh
movie.
man, she looked like it.
Yeah. So they.
no.
Kidding, but
So anyway,
seriously.
brought
A lot of people's first crushes.
they
in those
saw
movies.
that.
Yes, she was.
So they saw them. So they saw all the stuff, and they were like, "Oh, this is Halloween." It kind of like clicked in their brain.
Yeah.
So then Sunday night and Monday night we split up the movie and basically watched half and half of it, and we did it as a family. Got them all back together. All right, movie night, guys. We're gonna do this.
Yeah.
And then it was a little easier for them, but to watch the movie.
You ever seen like the first Casper movie or anything like that?
No.
They haven't seen Casper. They might like Casper.
It's kind of fun. The 90s Casper.
My kids are
Yeah.
huge Scooby-Doo nerds
Okay.
and Nightmare Before Christmas nerds. Like,
Okay.
they've seen every iteration of Scooby-Doo
Yeah.
in the history, except for the new movie Scoob, is what Augie's told me.
Right.
He's like, haven't seen that one yet. But he watches the WWE, joins the Scooby-Doo gang, like, and it's Scooby-Doo and Undertaker tag teaming.
Yeah.
Like
the first Casper one's a fun.
He's watched everything.
For kids.
So we've watched that, but they also watch the old Addams Family, like just their normal TV. They watch is old Addams Family reruns.
Oh yeah,
like from the '60s. Like that's one of their favorite shows. They laugh. They make like they're nerds.
What
with
about
that.
the Munsters, man? That's coming back.
I haven't watched any of those on
Maybe
Prime
you
or
should
anything.
find the old Goosebumps.
Yeah.
The videos. The Goosebumps
Ooh,
videos
or the
pretty
old
good.
Nick series. Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah, that's a good one as well.
Mostly we're just reliving our childhood.
No, but my kids surprisingly actually do they love Halloween. They love scary stuff.
Okay.
They love. So it's funny that they are for the first time no, we don't want to see it. So
really
they got into. They watched Hocus Pocus. They were fine. It wasn't until the very end Hadley started feeling a little tense when they're in the graveyard at the very end,
Sure.
and they're the girls are trying to catch them on their brooms, and she was a little suspense. She was feeling the suspense. We'll say that. We had to pause it at one point. Go, Hadley, how many minutes are left in this movie? She was like, 9 minutes are left. We're like, okay. Do you think it's gonna have a happy ending? She's like, I think so. We're like, okay, then let's just watch. Let's calm down. Let's watch. So that made her feel a little bit better. And we had to keep reminding her these are actors. She gets a little wrapped up in stuff. So.
Yeah, what's real, what's not real.
But it was good. All in all, simple, easy, fun start of Halloween. Next weekend we're going camping.
Sure.
We're going to go back up to Creekside. Booked a couple more nights there this week, and we'll go back up and
fun.
Try and knock that up before it gets too cold.
Using the trailer.
Going to take the trailer again.
Okay. Now, before Anthony goes, I did remember one thing, and I'd be remiss if I did not mention it.
What?
Oh, of course.
My parents' birthday, my brother's birthday, we did do that on Sunday.
Your
went over to their
mom's
house.
birthday.
And, just had a nice
When's
little...
your dad's birthday?
That's a little later. That's next week. Or this week, actually. So Thursday is when we're doing the celebration. But, so basically they all have birthdays this time of year, and I'm the weirdo. I'm in May. So I'm way separate from all of them. But
explains a lot.
Kind of, I mean, it shows. But we kind of lump them together, and they have their birthdays collectively. We decided this Sunday was the time to kind of have it all together. And we had these amazing bacon wrapped steaks and the whole filet mignon thing.
Ooh.
Made it at home, did amazing stuff, loved it. And it was just a really nice time. We had a big Zoom call with the family, did that for about an hour. Liz was there. We had Callie over, and dogs played and stuff. It was just a beautiful time. Very nice. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that because I know if they listen, they're going to be like, wait, but that happened. It's like, well, of course. But, family, private.
So, folks, make
nice
sure
time.
you send your emails, your happy birthday emails to Carolyn and Jeff. Let them know
the rag company.
at the rag support of the rag company.
Yeah.
Send them some happy birthdays. Carolyn's was last week. We had delicious cupcakes.
Yes.
we did.
Your dad's were probably just going to be eating a lot of German chocolate cake.
That's generally
he
what
loves.
happens.
Coconut on everything.
He loves
on
coconut.
everything.
So little coconut straws.
I'm just hoping
anything and everything.
Honestly, I'm hoping we get some coconuts, some actual real coconuts, a little bit of Kahlua, right? And we turn it into a party, right?
You don't know it, but we're actually going to plant some palm trees in between the buildings here.
That would be amazing.
Just cut a hole in the ground. Yeah, we don't need that part.
Cutting a hole in fruit is always fun.
So what did you speaking of this weekend,
Anthony,
what did you do?
Cutting a hole in fruit, what'd you do this week?
A hotel room?
Yeah. So this weekend was my anniversary, right? On Monday or yesterday, so the 7th, right? It's been a year. That should
been a year since
that should make
the boys at Color Lock were here.
That should make
The first
everybody
visit.
feel pretty old listening to this podcast, right?
When
That it's
Anthony's
already
been
been a
married
year.
for a year?
I've been married for a year because it seemed like just yesterday. I was talking about the whole wedding and getting everything.
Like I
all
said,
planned.
when I pulled out on my road today or my street and got onto Boise Avenue and saw the wreckage, I go,
the wind.
this is like a bomb went off. Like when Anthony said that. Wait, that was a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was
Crazy how time
literally a year
flies.
ago. We had a storm identical to what we had this
day
year.
before my wedding, and then it just somehow beautiful day.
It was gorgeous.
The next day back.
Yeah,
to
that was
storming.
great.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Yeah.
The best luck that I've ever had. But yeah, so it's been a year, man, which is crazy. And so Katie planned a big surprise. She wanted to have like this all big a big surprise. She said, "Do you want to know anything about the weekend?" I said no. And so basically Friday night Pretty chill. Didn't do a whole lot. Went to the gym. I'm trying to get back to the gym every day is what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to get back in the routine of things. And so Friday went to the gym. Saturday, I spent Saturday, since it was pretty damn hot out. It was 101 degrees.
Yeah.
Knocked out some stuff around the house. Just mostly inside stuff. Just knocked out a bunch of inside stuff around the house. Got things cleaned up. And then because Katie was working both Saturday and half of Sunday. So then half of Sunday, I detailed the bike. My Triumph, I finally washed that because it hasn't been washed since, I think, June. I think so. So I finally gave that a deep wash and cleaned it up. G-Technic, because I have Crystal Serum Ultra on there. I have CSU on there. Yeah. Man, that stuff holds up fantastic. I'm talking like I was just rinsing it with O&R and just falling right off. It was amazing. Let's just say you definitely could tell the coated from the uncoated areas on that bike. It was pretty cool. So clean that all up. And then so Sunday, Katie's plans were, hey, just show up to this location, dress nice, like we're going out, right? So basically show up. So I went and got her flowers, picked out this bouquet, made it myself. She likes green and white's like her favorite.
Okay.
She likes a lot of greens. She likes a lot of green, a little bit of white, a little bit of color.
Yeah.
So I kind of mixed it up. So it looked really nice. Went down to the Grove Hotel downtown and parked the old truck, the Ram 1500, as I should say.
You were driving the truck.
Driving the truck and parked it in the parking lot.
Well, because it looks so good.
Yeah, but I parked it in the what's it called?
The valet.
I didn't know. She asked
this
me
one out front.
She asked me if I wanted to valet, and I said I will not be valeting this truck. So I parked it in the parking garage, right? And but I had no idea, so I'm glad I took the truck because that truck stayed there for 2 days, didn't move, right? So if that was the Civic,
I think if you would have dressed up and drove the Evo, been like,
she'd been like, you're leaving that there for 2 days. I'd be like, I'm gonna go get my car and go swap that out really quick. So I showed up to the hotel, got her flowers, and she said, all right, do you want to know where we're gonna go for dinner? She's like, pop open that champagne. So I pop open the champagne.
Oh, wow.
Everybody's gonna enjoy this. We went to Ruth's Chris for dinner, right?
So nice.
The thing
Without
is,
us.
Did you tell her that this was you were doing research?
Yes.
For work?
So I was excited, right, to eat Ruth's Chris with her, but this was like the preemptive, like, oh wow, I get to experience this to know what to set Dane up for during our food review. Yeah. So I was thinking more about work than it was the actual dinner, but it was.
We won't
don't tell her
that. She doesn't listen to this podcast.
She doesn't listen to this podcast. So
phew.
No, so we were really excited because I'd never been there before. She had been there before. I haven't. So we went out there. I ordered. I think it was like some type of surf and turf. It was like the 16-ounce like fillet with a bone in with like the lobster tail and whatever the heck sauce they put on it or on the side. And then we got like asparagus and garlic mashed potatoes and all of that stuff. Dude, that was the best steak.
What I love is that this is a chain restaurant.
Yeah. This is a chain restaurant.
Everything Dane abhors.
Yeah, I abhor a chain restaurant. However,
holy crap, man.
I have to make exceptions to the rule once in a while.
There was some crazy flavor.
If it's a high-end chain.
Well, my favorite part is when they were serving it.
Like Cracker Barrel.
They gave us butter for the lobster tail, right?
Yeah. Mm.
I was just dipping my steak in there, right?
Well, I would too. So, that's what I dip my steak in is butter.
Katie's like, what are you doing dipping that steak into the butter? I'm like, I took a bite and I said, dear God, try a bite of this. And she was like, oh, wow. She's like, this tastes really unhealthy.
So I normally
don't judge me for the way I eat.
When I cook my ribeyes, I cook them with butter.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Yeah.
You use it like...
That's not a crime.
No.
Eating it with ketchup is a
butter.
crime.
Dipping it in more butter. But
that's different.
So it was really good, dude. We had a great dessert and all that. And so after that, we went back to the hotel. Now, she didn't want to go back at home at all, right?
She wanted to stay in the hotel.
She got us 2 nights at the hotel, and she said, we're landlocked here.
Grove Hotel, beautiful view. Did you guys have a north-facing view or south-facing view?
Right. We had a north-facing view.
Lovely.
Okay.
So you got the mountains,
beautiful.
you got the Capitol building, you got the Grove.
Very beautiful, yes.
That's a great view. Carly and I rented a room there for Easter weekend, took the kids up with us, and I remember just sitting in one of those chairs.
Yeah.
Big, huge picture window. Sitting there with my children watching a storm roll in.
Oh, I love that.
Beautiful colors, orange, purple. It was beautiful. Lightning.
Skies. Yeah. A little bit of everything.
Great time to be.
People may not know there's an ice rink in the base of that building.
Did you notice how tiny the room is?
Oh,
It was.
It's very small. It's actually quite small. Proportionately, it's very small.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't that bad. I mean,
Was
I thought
it
it was.
Did you get
It
two?
was a king.
Okay.
It was one
See,
king.
we got the double queen.
Okay.
Is what
so
they
probably feel a little smaller.
Yeah, because we had to get a bed for the kids, but it was like, oh, this is a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Like, but anyway, so 2 nights in the hotel.
2 nights. First night was good, and so I remember because she was like, after we eat Ruth's Chris, let's go back and see if there's any good movies, right, that we can pay-per-view, right? Let's see if there's anything, right? So everything that they have on pay-per-view now is just everything on Netflix, right? Yeah. But except they charge $20 for the pay-per-view.
Because no movies have come out this year, so they're like, well,
selection's virtually
the same.
Katie, are any of these worth $20 to you? She's like, no, because they're all on Netflix. And I'm like, did you bring your iPad? And she's like, no, I didn't bring my iPad, because I would have said just pull up the iPad.
Just grab an Apple TV, plug it into the back of that thing, and be like, haha, we took over now.
But I woke up next morning, went out and got breakfast over at Goldie's. So if you haven't been to
delightful
Boise,
place.
if you haven't been to Boise, Goldie's is like
it's one of the places like if people come to visit and they're gonna be here, like we have like guests that arrive to do videos with us and stuff. If they're gonna be here early on a Sunday morning, Jeff and Carolyn make it a point to take them to Goldie's, and Anthony finds a way to make it there.
He
gets up early.
It is quite a hole in the wall type restaurant, though, isn't it?
It's a hole in the wall, literally hole in the wall, and
it is so small but vertical.
The waiting time is typically an hour, unless you get there and put your name first. So what we typically do at the rag company is
someone has to get there at 6:30 in the morning.
We send a scout to go put our name in, because you can't call and put your name in. You have to be there physically. And you go send a scout, they put their name in, you wait, and then show up an hour later, park, get inside there, and then have yourself some pretty insane breakfast. And so, but yeah, we had stuffed, I got the banana stuffed French toast.
So did you get it to go, or did you have Katie meet you? Because you got up early to go put the name in.
Yes. Well, no, so we both got up early, right? Put our name in, went and got coffee at the stop-in place that it is. Yeah. And then we walked around, right? Katie has never, believe it or not, right? Katie has never seen Freak Alley.
What?
Ever.
What?
She's never. She used to work downtown.
Does
right?
she know? Did she know it existed?
Years, right? She knew it existed.
Okay.
But she never.
She just had never physically walked in, and so that was kind of the funny thing is when we were walking. She says, "When's the last time you walked around downtown? Like you actually went and checked things out?" I'm like, 5-6 years ago. Like I've been downtown.
I think when we did the one wing challenge,
I've had destinations to go downtown.
Well, and we've gone downtown and taken people to dinner.
Yeah,
and we've
but not like explored downtown,
right? Sure.
Right? And so that's where I said I haven't explored downtown in like 5 or 6 years, and a lot's changed since a lot of new businesses and buildings have gone up. So I said this will be kind of fun. So checked out Freak Alley, big mural place where you can check out all sorts of cool artwork and graffiti and stuff. And went and had breakfast, and then we rented bikes. They had free bike rentals at the hotel, so we went and grabbed bikes, and we rode bikes all the way down to Hyde Park area where they have there's a Paria. It's like a
Paria grill. It's a burrito joint.
And that was where we had our first date. So first date we ever had. We went there and got loaded Coronas, right? Loaded Corona. It's a Corona with either tequila or rum or whatever you want in it. Let's just say they get the job done really fast. And so rode bikes down there, had loaded Coronas, went and got ice cream afterwards. We did some more bike riding, and that's when the wind picked up, and we're like, okay, we got to get the heck out of Dodge, dude. So went back to the hotel, got ready, because then we're going to dinner at this place called Barbacoa, which is another really nice restaurant. And that's where we got an Ubered us down there, went to Barbacoa, and she was like, it's our last night. She's like, let's, really enjoy. So we all got everything we wanted. And that's when she's like, do you want to do a couple shots? I'm like, yeah, I'll do a couple shots, right? This is not the place you go for shots. Like, this is like...
No, Barbacoa is basically one of the nicest restaurants in town.
Easy.
Period.
And so, but I'm like, you know what?
Like, we should have rented those movies from Netflix.
I was going to say that would have been cheaper.
We should have pay-per-viewed those. It would have been cheaper.
So, because I'm laughing to myself, because I'm like, normally I would not be doing this, but the way I was looking at it as well, right?
Special occasion.
Me and Katie have not gone out to a dinner. We went to one restaurant since the whole COVID thing started,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We have not gone to one restaurant. So I'm like, all the money we saved, and she's like, well, what about the money that we would have spent on like DoorDash and stuff? That doesn't count. We're not bringing.
If we weren't there, it
we
doesn't
don't bring
count.
up the DoorDash expenses. This is just us not going out to dinner for many months
Sure.
and making up for that in one night. So, but we did that, and that was really fun. Went back to the hotel, had a couple more drinks at the bar, hung out, and just talked. Fun thing, right? Sitting at this desk or this table or whatever it was, in this chair in the lobby. And this
Beautiful lobby there at the,
Girl-
the Grove.
girl walks up to me and she says, hey, she's like, sorry, this is going to sound super weird. She's like,
boy.
but I recognized you. And I'm sitting here like, where is this?
I was going to say, what do you bet? Katie just perked up and was like,
so I'm like, this could go 3 different ways, right? And so she's like, I recognize you. First, I'm thinking it from work, right?
Right.
Second, I'm like, did you recognize my voice from another YouTube channel, right? I'm like, no. But I'm like, and the third thing I'm like thinking, I'm like, maybe she knows me from my wife, right? And then she says, I recognize you and I recognize your voice. She's like, it's your anniversary today, right? And I'm like, yes, it's my anniversary. And she's just like, so you don't remember that? Maybe you do. But she's like, a year ago today, we met you in the elevator because we also got married today, me and my husband over here. And she's like, do you remember us at the Inn at 500, right? She's like, we were in the elevator. My husband's the one with all the tattoos. And I look over, I'm like, oh my God, it is. Both of us had gotten married on that day, right? In the same
Stayed at the Inn at 500.
in the same elevator at a completely different thing,
Hotel,
right?
yeah,
We
across
had
the street.
met.
I was about
and
to say, what are
talked
the
about
odds
it.
of that? And then I realized I actually quite like
It's
it.
Boise.
Yeah,
It's Boise.
and so that's
Yeah.
why I was like a year later, but I'm like, dude, I wouldn't have recognized
Yeah.
anybody. And
Yeah.
so, but the
That's
fact
funny,
that she
though.
recognized, so when Katie's walked in the bathroom, Katie's like, what's going on? I'm like, Katie, these are the guys that we met in the elevator last year that also got married on this stage. She's like, that's crazy. You know, like a year, it's amazing, you know, and we kind of laughed about that. But stayed the night there last night. Katie packed all my stuff for me. She's like, hey, I took the next like 4 days off. So she's like, I'm sleeping here until like noon. She's like, you do whatever you need to do. So I got up early, got my truck, drove down to my house, pet my dogs because I miss my dogs, grabbed my stuff, got ready for work, and then came here. And so that was pretty much it, man.
Nice.
But good. You know,
That actually is a great little adventure.
it's a great, great time because sometimes you forget where you're like, if you don't explore where you live, sometimes you forget what it's like.
Yeah.
And the hard part is like, I think about like Saturday night, I thought, man, we should do stuff. Like I'll get the kids out. We'll do some stuff. I was like, let's grab some food.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we go do something. And Carly's like, I'm not really feeling like going anywhere. Kind of want to just hang out. Then she goes, where do you want to eat? And I named off like 5 places that I knew she liked. And then she dropped the Chicago Connection. And I was like, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We need to go there. I'll
Yeah.
order it. I'll get it.
Yeah.
You know, so it is about that. Cause I was driving through downtown going like, man, we should go cruise around down here and see what's happening. Like
You forget sometimes.
Downtown's pretty nice. I think downtown Boise is beautiful, and especially, right, what I like the most about it, Labor Day weekend, dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Nobody
And
around.
I'm the kind of guy, I like a dead city. I like it when it's super quiet and low-key and calm because, dude, Boise on a Saturday night, Friday night.
Generally, it feels
can
like a
get-
college
dude,
town.
it gets pretty
'cause
wild, man.
well, it is a
kinda
college
is.
town. Like,
It gets pretty nuts. And let's just say you need to have a high tolerance
Now,
level in a lot of cases.
Monday, the Greenbelt was packed. So the Greenbelt, which I took Augie on, is you guys can Google this. It's called the Greenbelt, Boise City Greenbelt. It's literally 25 miles of blacktop, 2-lane blacktop on either side of the river
Yep.
and runs from the dam all the way out to past here, out to Eagle,
Yeah.
out past your parents' house.
Yeah.
And so it's 25 miles, and it's how I get to, if I ride my bike to work, I can ride literally, I'm just down the street from the Greenbelt. I can hop on the Greenbelt, and it's a straight shot, and then I pop out over here, cross State Street, and I'm done. So the Greenbelt's pretty rad. So I'd taken Augie on it. It's just a nice running, walking bike path. It was packed. There's so many people just riding bikes on Monday. It was crazy.
What you need to do is you need to install some spikes on your tires, right, on the wheels, right, so you can take everybody out as you ride.
I almost
Ooh.
took Augie out a couple times because my handlebar's so wide and he's so and my
Hey,
bike,
buddy, bang.
my bike is so big and he's so little. Like I had to give him some of those dad pushes, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all right, right up alongside and then give him a push. And a couple times I was like, whoa, like I had to move my handlebar because his head was right gonna smack it. So
Nice. Well, anyways, yeah, that was pretty much it, Dane. So
Yeah.
I think we're
I think that rounds it out nicely. So
Next time you need to remind Katie if she wants to plan some sort of bicycle adventure.
the tandem.
Yeah.
I've got a tandem available, a cruiser bike tandem. So
Not
very
doing
easy,
anything
very
right now.
simple,
I know.
enjoyable to ride.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
No, I think that's a good way to wrap this up. So, guys, I'm going to ask you right now, if you're not subscribed, why aren't you? You should be. You should click that red button right now. Subscribe to the Rag Company podcast YouTube channel, but not just that. You should also subscribe to the Rag Company YouTube channel, the main one, and the Rag Company FAQ channel. There it is. That's right. Can't miss it out. Regularly releasing new videos that answer questions that you've probably had or at least thought about once in a while if you're even remotely interested in detailing. I think it's fair to say. We try and take, suggestions from the comments and introduce them as new videos. So there's regular new stuff coming out all the time. So make sure you subscribe to that too, because I feel like you're going to learn a thing or two, even if you didn't necessarily have that question. Maybe it was something you didn't think to ask, and now, hey, you got the answer anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Amen,
any rate,
brother.
guys, anything left to add before we go?
That's it.
Okay, so my final mission to you guys here is go to the Rag Company discussion group, the podcast discussion group on Facebook. Leave some suggestions with each one of our names and then a little blurb next to it about what you think our little segments could be. Maybe like a 5 or 10 minute segment here on the show. Dedicate some time to that. Just make it like our little corner, and then the other guys can kind of weigh in on it. But it's basically like one leads it, and then we kind of, do a little crosstalk with it. I think it'd be kind of fun. Just a way to kind of freshen things up a little bit.
Dig it.
Yeah,
Relationship
so-
advice with Dane Hennen.
Oh, boy. Don't. All right. So here we go. Till next time, guys. Adios.
See ya.
See ya.